Another day, another stream. Going to be speaking about all Chelsea things, Barnsley preview, Atletico update on the tie, speaking about defenders that we're linked with. We've got so many guests on the channel today. We'll start with the co-host, Ads. What are you telling me, bro?
Nah, man, man's all good, bro. Here again, smash the like button, you lot, man.
My guys already on it, fam. Smash the like. You don't know how it goes, man. We've got another guest returning, monstarcfc, bro. What are you telling me, man?
Big ups, man. Big ups. Same old, man. Just getting this Chelsea, news in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. 100%. Guys, you can subscribe to the channel as well. Link in the description right now as well. We've got Matt. How are you, bro?
I'm very good, very good. Glad to be back on again after a short time. Glad to get a good debate on.
For real. And Kazilla, what are you telling me, man?
Yeah, man. I'm blessed as always, bro. Thanks for having me on, fam.
100%. Obviously, Lewis is in the chat, but I think he's currently busy, so he'll come on very, very shortly. How are we feeling for the Barnsley preview? Are we excited for the game, Ads?
Yeah, man, excited to see something new. Hopefully a formation change. I don't really want to see 5 at the back tomorrow. I think tomorrow is a good opportunity for Tuchel to try 4 at the back with our current squad and see how it works. So, yeah, man, I'd like to see something new. I'd like to see Ziyech back in the team, Pulisic back in the team. I want to see a lot of rotation, Tammy back in the team, Gilmore. Yeah, man, I always get excited for these cup games because you get to see a bit more freedom from these players, man. You get to see what they would do, stuff that they would do, which they wouldn't do in a Prem game, innit? They have a lot more freedom to express themselves. So, yeah, these FA Cup games are always good for me, and I'm positive, man. Like I said, 4-1 win, in my opinion. That's what I'm going for.
4-1. He's saying the one because of Kepa or what?
Yeah, Kepa text him.
It looks like we're starting tomorrow. Monster, what's your take on the game, bro? You excited? You confident?
Yeah, man. It's Barnsley. Like I think we spanked them earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Should be an easy win. If we don't win, then boy, but I don't have any doubt in my mind that we will not win this game. I do want to see some certain players getting some minutes in to get match sharp again. Hopefully we see Kante, because the last couple of games we've seen Kante. Well, not necessarily the last game. I think he did all right in the last game, but he doesn't necessarily look match sharp yet. But he is looking better in it. So yeah. Hopefully we see Kante, Ziyech. I'm not sure about Havertz because I didn't see him in any training videos. So I don't know where he is or what's going on with him. But even the likes of Billy Gilmore, let's get their legs running in it. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be good to see them start.
For real, are you excited about Kepa starting tomorrow, most likely?
Do you know what? Yeah, I know people, get at Kepa, but that last FA Cup game, I don't necessarily even blame Kepa for that goal. I think Zuma should have done way better. Might have obstructed his view.
Yeah.
Should he have done better? Yes, of course. But at the same time, Zuma it looked like he pulled out of the challenge the shot, or he pulled out of the block for the shot and obstructed Kepa's view, making it hard for him to react on time, innit? So I am rooting for him to get a clean sheet tomorrow, innit?
That's all I like to hear, man. Some positivity around Kepa. I've not heard that in recent days, bro. Matt, what's your take on the game? Are you excited for the game?
I mean, I'm calm, if I'm honest. I expect to win. It's Barnsley. We beat them 6-0 in the beginning of the season, so we should be dominating them at least and getting a good result. I want to see certain players, Billy Gilmore, Kante, I want to see them two together. I want to see Ziyech. I'd like to see Havertz, but if he's not back, then he's not back. I don't really want to risk him in a dead cup tie. Just even like the likes of Emerson, just to get match fitness and keep everyone just keep going on, get everyone fit, everyone sharp, ready for the games coming up.
Yeah, definitely. Kazilla, what about you, bro? Tomorrow, big game. Excited?
Yeah, man. I'm slightly excited for the game. It's just that we don't have, I'm being a bit cynical here, but it's looking like we don't have a lot of people to put in the chances, because when we do play, we do create a lot of chances, but there's no one to put them away. So I was flip-flopping on the outcome of the result from yesterday. So yesterday I said 5-1. I might have to drop it down to 3 because I don't know if we're going to score 5, bro. And plus we got Kepa in goal. So yeah, I'm going to go with 3-1. But yeah, I'm going to say I want to see Guy Havertz and Tammy Abraham stat pad like they done last time. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm confident, and then bring on the next round, bro.
For real, listen, I was telling you lot in recent days that I'm not too confident about these ties, man. I feel like there could be some shady performance tomorrow, man. Just because the players haven't been playing regularly, the ones that I expect to play tomorrow, of course. Do you expect players like Emerson to feature tomorrow?
Yeah, man. To be honest, I expect a full rotation, the whole starting 11. I don't think anyone starting like the previous few games is going to be playing. So Emerson, Zuma, all of these players back in the team. Obviously, I'm not sure about the right back and the other centre back because obviously we're going to have to play one of the ones that has been playing recently. So it'll probably be Azpi and Christensen just because they've probably had the least minutes this season. And then Kante and Gilmore in the pivot and Ziyech, Pulisic, hopefully Havertz and Tammy ahead of them. But obviously we don't know what's going on with Havertz. So if Havertz isn't able to play, I'll actually put Werner and Tammy just so you can try to get Werner's confidence up and allow him to score a couple goals against Barnsley, hopefully.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think as well? You were talking about Emerson featuring. Do you see a lot of rotation for the whole team?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised with the amount of rotation we actually had at Sheffield United. I think with him bringing back Chilwell, bringing back other players, I think there's just certain parts, like the pivot, for example. Jorginho and Kovacic played a lot of games in a row, and it'd just be nice for them to get a rest. And we haven't seen Kante, we haven't seen Gilmore at all under Tuchel, so I think it's a good game for them to have the confidence and just the to be relaxed, to just play their game, get back to sharpness. The likes of Emerson, who haven't played, looks like he's now kind of, you would say, third choice under Tuchel at the moment. So it'd be nice to see what he can prove and what he can show. And then the likes of Ziyech, who, again, haven't played for injuries or whatever is happening. So I think it's just good to get some rotation in.
Yeah. Monster, Thomas Tuchel has confirmed Thiago Silva is out, of course. Nothing on Kai Havertz from the press conference. Who do you expect to see in the back line for defense?
Do you know what? I don't know if I was Tuchel. I don't know. I would have tried to test out a back four, but if we are sticking with a back three, it's a bit of a tough one, isn't it?
Zuma has to feature, no?
I think Zuma does have to feature. Christensen has to feature, and I don't know who else. Who else would it be?
Reece James in that right centre back, and then allowing one of the wingers to play as the wing back, maybe.
I mean, that's a shout. That is a shout. Maybe I don't know because I know a lot of people want to see Reece James at right centre back, but I prefer Azpi playing there. Do you know what I mean? It's more he hasn't done anything necessarily wrong to not stay there. Do you know what I mean? Right now with this back three and things like that, I just don't see where Reece James kind of fits because Reece James, like, if we're being honest, I know we will love him, but he slows play down. He kind of kills attacks. Do you know what I mean? You know when Callum Hudson-Odoi was in there, he was like ripping it apart. My man was taking everyone on. Reece James is more of go back. Do you know what I mean? And that is a bit of an issue with him. He's too casual. He needs to step things up in it. But I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should try Reece James at right centre back, see how it goes, innit? Maybe.
Bro, Lewis, you're back, bro.
Yes,
how are you?
bro. Sorry, it took ages to set up. What are you saying, guys? What are you saying?
Big up,
All
Lewis.
good, man. All good. You just woke up recently.
No, not even, Best night's sleep I've had in weeks, to be honest. I've had drillers underneath my flat, but I finally found a way around it because I've just been playing white noise in the background for hours. So, yeah, I'm refreshed, man. I feel good.
AC high, fam. Well, who are you expecting in the back
we out
line?
here, bro. As usual, you already know. What are you saying?
In the back line tomorrow, bro, for defense. Who do you want to see?
We're probably going to go for a back three again for this game. It wouldn't surprise, unless Tuchel comes out and surprises us again. But if we're going to go for a back three, it's like Zuma, like Monster already said, should definitely be starting because that'll be his first start in how long.
Yeah.
Reece James, maybe I would back Reece James at right centre back just because I think it'd be a good game to experiment it with, rather that than a league game where you have the potential to lose points. But same way, I think Reece James can assimilate into that position perfectly. The only reason why we don't do it is because we already have azpiliecueta in that position. We don't necessarily need to force two people into one position. In the centre, you might have to go for Christensen as well because that's the only one that would fit that role in the middle of the three. Other than that, to be honest, I don't really know because we've only got 4 centre-backs still stuck at the club at this point and one's injured. So we kind of got our hands tied, and we got to play those three anyway.
For real. Obviously, you're talking about different formation. What formation you want to see?
Yeah, I'd go. Obviously, depending on whether Havertz is playing or not, I'd go 4-2-3-1. Even against Luton, we kind of saw a 4-2-3-1 where Werner played behind Tammy. So even if Havertz isn't there, I'd go 4-2-3-1 because, yeah, like Lewis was saying, it's a good opportunity to chop and change things where you don't have there's not a possibility that you're going to lose points. Regardless, we're going to go through. So there's not really a better opportunity. You never know. We could get one of the big boys in the next round. So this could be really our best opportunity to try the 4 at the back on the Tuchel and see how it works. So I definitely change it up because I'm not sure if we're going to stick with this 5 at the back for the rest of the season because I feel like eventually we will get found out. So yeah, I definitely change it for tomorrow, 100%.
Yeah, I want to add on what he's saying as well by saying we're only down to 4 or 3 centre backs. It wouldn't make sense to throw them all out for a cup game against Barnsley as well and potentially risk an injury. Maybe it would be smarter to go 4 at the back anyway, just to preserve one of our centre backs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Kazilla, what do you think the gaffer's gonna do, bro?
Yeah, bro. Do you know is the gaffer? I think he's gonna go with a back 3 as usual. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we'll go with AC in the middle and then Zoom on the right. And then I think we'll stick Chilwell as left centre back because he's played there before, and I don't think he's in favour to play in that wing back role because I think when he's been playing, he's been poor. He's been slowing down the play. The same way that people are saying Reece James is slowing down the play, Chilwell's been doing that exponentially. Do you know what I'm saying? It's been worse for him. He had to get slung off. What was it? I think it was it. I can't remember what game it was, but he got slung off at like half time or 60th minute. So I think Chilwell will play left centre back to be fair because he's played there before, and it makes the most sense playing him there because he has more experience playing in that certain role. And then I think we'll play there.
Left centre back. I never thought of that one actually. Matt, what do you make of that? Left centre back, Ben Chilwell.
I've never really seen him play there, so I'm not sure how it would go. I mean, he hasn't looked that great at wing back, but at the same time, he hasn't really played at wing back for most of his career, so he just needs to get used to the position. So you just got to give him a little bit of time on that. Yeah,
and who would you like to see in defence then, and what formation?
I'd like to see him go with 4 at the back, which if it is 4 at the back, I'd go with Emerson left back, Azpi right back, and then it'd probably have to be Zuma and Christensen at centre back. This is the only game that I'd play them 2 together because normally it's terrible. If it's a back 3, I'd have Zuma and Christensen with Azpi in the centre. Then I'd have Hudson-Odoi out on the right and then Emerson out on the left.
Fair enough. I just want to talk about Atletico very, very quickly. Monster, first leg confirmed to be played in Bucharest. Yeah. Second leg at Stamford Bridge. What's your take on that, first of all?
I mean, I think it's because of obviously the situation with in Spain. Their restrictions right now are really tight. So it makes sense for them to move it. I don't think necessarily Bucharest is the worst place for them to go play the game. I think it's all right. I don't mind it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's not down to me anyway, but yeah, I think it's an all right place to go to for them to play. It's not too far away anyway, is it? So it's not that bad.
Do you think it's an advantage for us that we still get a second leg at Stamford Bridge?
I don't think right now in football, I don't think there's any home advantage because if we're being honest, there's no fans. So what advantage, unless you could say the pitches, because obviously different clubs have, different size pitches. Like, as you know, Barcelona, their pitch is huge and they used to take advantage of that. But apart from the pitch size, I don't really think it makes any difference now anymore because there's no home fans. So it doesn't really make any difference.
Yeah, what do you think of the situation right now?
To be honest, I think we can see it as a positive because we're going to a neutral venue where we're going to try to score goals which will count as away goals. We know that Atletico Madrid at home, they're crazy at home. I think they haven't lost there since December 2019, so they got a very good record there in the Champions League as well. So I think it is a benefit that we don't have to go there, and then also that we're going back to the Stamford Bridge in the second leg. I think that might give us a psychological advantage, in fact, because just the players feeling at home while they had to play their home game in Romania I think it could just give us a psychological advantage and hopefully help us out, like the players' mentality in the second match, get them for it, know that they have to come back to Stamford Bridge. We didn't have to go to them. So I think it could benefit us, to be honest. I'm happy. I was saying yesterday, I prefer this than having 2 neutral venue legs. I think it does benefit us having the second leg back at Stamford Bridge.
Well said. Lewis, your take on the situation?
On what, us being in, what was it, Romania for the first leg?
First leg, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give Atletico, I think, 2 to 3 hours extra travel time compared to us, so that might give us a small advantage, but that's the only real advantage that we're going to see between the both sides. Like, again, echoing like what Monster said, there isn't going to be a lot of home advantage this season. I think the Liverpool game against Manchester City was a perfect example for that. Big Anfield curse for 20, 25 years. First season they don't have fans, they go and win there for the first time in ages. Home advantage don't really exist this season, and couldn't really echo it any differently. We just have to go out there and do our job still. But the only real advantage is that we only have 1 hour travel time and they have about 3.5 extra travel time. That's the only real difference between the both of it. But it's still going to be a question of what team's better over the 2 legs. So just go out there and get a couple of away goals. If away goals even count for this tie anymore, like there's a lot of question marks about it now.
Yeah, has it been confirmed or is it just staying the same? Does anyone know? Has anyone said anything about it?
I haven't heard anything different. So
I imagine it would stay the same.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I'll have a look, but I haven't heard any difference.
Nah, I haven't heard any different. I'm assuming that it stays the same, that away goals and that still count.
Yeah. Gaffer, what do you think, man, of the situation as well?
You know, it's good that we're not playing at the Wanda Metropolitano, because I think that's a fortress of a stadium. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially with
We
the
won
fans.
there, though, man.
I know. I think it's like, bro, it's especially for these type of young players and whatnot. If they had fans inside in that stadium, right, it would have been a lot more intimidating. But regardless, like this tie, I think will favor us in terms of the venue and whatnot, because we're playing in a neutral ground, and then afterwards we can bring it back to the bridge. So yeah, for me, there's no complaints at the end of the day. It's just what Luce was pointing out with them not just having a bit more travel time over us. But apart from that, in terms of the venues, man, I'm completely confident with that.
Yeah. Lastly, Matt, as well, just your take on the situation.
Yeah, I think most people have echoed what I was going to say. I think Atletico Madrid have had a really good home record at the Wanda Metropolitano, even though there is no home record advantage anyway. They've seemed to be the only team in Europe that's managed to keep that during the COVID time, which it's good now that we're facing them some random place in Romania. I'm just surprised that UEFA have actually been kind enough to let us play at Stamford Bridge, because I would have thought it would have made sense in terms of the fairness of it just to play both ties in Bucharest. But I mean, it's happy that everyone at Chelsea can come play at Stamford Bridge. The only thing I'd say about that is Stamford Bridge has one of the smallest pitches in England, which for me, if Atletico are going to come and park the bus, that's going to be a big benefit for them, because then they can just keep it tight and compact. That's the only thing I'd throw in.
I think you said it very, very good there. Lewis, something I want to ask you, man. Kepa, I know, maybe you want this guy to be going soon or go out on loan and try and get some confidence. Matt Law done an article recently saying that he has a chance against Barnsley. He's going to have a second chance before deciding his fate, of course. Do you think there's no way coming back for this goalkeeper at Chelsea in the long term?
It depends how much Chelsea want to force it, to be honest. Like, I don't get why there wasn't this same energy for other flops that we have, but statistically, the worst goalkeeper in Premier League history is getting a second chance. Like, it don't make any sort of sense to me. As a second choice goalkeeper, I guess it works because the guy cost us 72 million. If he ain't going to be a second choice goalkeeper, what is he really going to be? But there's no reason for me to justify why this would make sense. Kepa has to go out there and actually prove it. But I've got no reason or no justification in my mind to think that would actually happen. Like, if it's not bad enough that his own ability isn't good enough, he's being trained by the second worst goalkeeper in Premier League history in Hilario. So, what am I meant to believe in this?
Who's worse, Hilario or Kepa?
No. I'm not.
No, Hilario was better as a goalkeeper. Like, I
remember that time where Czech's goal was cracked. Czech's goal was cracked, and Kudicini had fated against Reading, innit? Hilario came in and done his thing, man. You know, why are you man trying to disrespect?
No,
him?
6-7 Hilari, I can give credit for. There was a Barcelona game in his first match where he kept a clean sheet. And
Yeah, the
for
one
the
nil
rest of the games
blocker,
on Pucudicini was around, he was decent. Like, I'm not going to say he was poor or anything. He was decent. Same way, stats are not lying. Like, I don't want this guy training Kepa. I'd rather have someone who's done a bit more in the game. Obviously, I'm not going to speak too much of it about because I'm not in the coaching side of the game anyway. But it's not a good look, is it? Worst goalkeeper in Premier League history being trained by the keeper with the second worst.
Pia Jarabkin or whatever his name is.
Who?
Jarabkin.
Yeah, I recognize the name.
Wow, forget.
Mosa, what's your take on Kepa, bro? Anyway, coming back, loan deal maybe?
No, there's no way coming back. Like he's done. I think we all know he's not good enough. Like there's no way we can force it. We've tried. He's average at best, average player at best. I don't see him being at Chelsea. There's a reason why we got Mendy. There's a reason why Donnarumma's linked as well. I think his time at Chelsea as the first choice goalkeeper is done. There's nothing he can do at this point because he's not gonna be. He's not. The only way he could is if he starts pulling off David De Gea-esque saves, innit? That's not gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? So I doubt it.
Anyone disagree? Matt adds.
Nah,
Everyone's agreeing on the situation. Everyone thinks Kepa's done.
Yeah, more time. I just want to know why we're just pushing it so much.
It's because Marina doesn't.
Embarrassment over the transfer fee or what?
Yeah, it's because Marina, she still wants to try and make money back on him. Obviously, her and Lampard had the argument about that as well. So she's not ready to cut her losses with him just yet, innit? Especially when they've paid record.
Yeah, but I mean, that transfer fee could go down as well as go back up with more performances because the fee's already gone down based on his performances.
Yeah, that's the risk. Hopefully, they're just trying to, well, what I think anyway, they're just trying to get him a few more games and then hopefully someone can take him on a loan because I don't even think there's many clubs interested on taking him out on loan right now. So hopefully he can at least get a loan in the summer, man, and try rejuvenate his career while no one's watching him in England. So only thing that we're gonna have, man.
How much realistically should we be getting him if he was to get a few games, if he was to get a loan move and he does well? How much would you guys think we can get out of him? Definitely nowhere near 72, obviously, but
I'm very happy with 20, bro.
If we get half price, if we even get half that price, like Marina's a miracle worker.
Bro,
max 30 million.
Bro, I'll be happy with 4 wings and chips, bro. This guy's not going for anything. I'm telling you, fam.
I said hit me with that number 3 meal deal and I'll be good. I can't be asked.
Man said 4 wings and chips, fam. That back in the days in London was 4 wings and chips.
100, man. We need to sell him to Arsenal, bro.
He's been so frustrating. Like there's just no point. Just no point. Like Lewis said, we'll be forcing it, and it will just cost us too many points.
Yeah.
Kepa, man, I tried so hard to back you, bro, over these years, man. It's been difficult, but it looks like your future won't be here, man. What are we saying predictions? Very quickly, Lewis. What was your prediction for tomorrow's game?
3-0 Chelsea. I guess.
So you're giving clean sheet. You're giving clean sheet. That's what I like to hear, bro.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not doing it against Barnsley, I mean, we didn't do it against Luton, and they're like a point or two behind them. But same way, it will be something similar to that, and it was just a howler that caused that Barnsley's goal anyway. So if we don't do any howlers at the back, and plus we got 3 centre backs instead of a back 2, maybe I can be a bit more optimistic. If it's Barnsley, we should go out there and smack them regardless. It's just a question of do they score or do they not score.
Yeah. I know we spoke about defenders on Lewis' channel yesterday with Monsters also. I'm just going to go quickly to Matt and Ads. Which defender would you expect to see in the summer if we were to sign one, Matt?
I mean, my number one choice would be either Alaba or Jimenez. I think Alaba, personally, I still think he's going to Real Madrid. I think all this talk of Chelsea being interested, Chelsea leading the race now, I think it's all just talk just to get Real Madrid to lower the wage or increase the wage. So then he goes there in the summer. I think he's always said how he wants to be in Spain. So it's just written in the stars for him to go there. So yeah, I think someone like a Jimenez, I can understand a Marquinhos as well. I think he'd be good playing at centre-back and CDM. But they're both going to be very expensive. So we're going to need to sell at least 2 players to get them signings in.
Do you think any of the loan players can make it back?
See, Malang Sarr, he's not even playing in the Porto squad at the moment, which if he's not getting into the Porto squad, realistically, is he going to make it back as a centre-back at Chelsea? I don't think so, not in the short term. I think Gue's the only one I look at and go, he could. But at the same time, say he gets promoted with Swansea, I wouldn't mind just keeping him there for another year, letting him grow in the Premier League, showing what he can do, and then come back the season after. You don't want to rush him back in too early.
100%. I think most of us would agree on that. Kozilla, who would you like to see come in, man? If we sign a defender,
Bro, in the ideal world, like without any injury issues, I'm taking my guy Nicolas Sula, man. For me, he can do everything. You know what I'm saying? The distribution's there. He's deceptively quick. You know what I'm saying? He's a physical force. He gets stuck into the tackle. I think he'll accommodate well in the Premier League. But that being said, we got to look at his injury record at the end of the day. And he's not really starting for Bayern because of his injury record. He didn't really start in the Champions League. And only when Boateng came injured, as Ad says yesterday, he was only playing. So that being said, I don't know if Sula would be the best option. But in an ideal world, I'll take Sula. So I'll take Sula, if not Upamecano.
yeah. Ads, you say Marquinhos. You still sticking with Marquinhos?
Yeah, man, I'm still sticking with Marquinhos, bro. Like I said loads of times, man, he's a very good centre-back on the ball, experienced. He's played in all the big games. He's only 26, coming into the prime of his career. And I think he'll be one of these defenders that has like a Ruben Diaz, Van Dijk type impact for the team and can take us straight from what we are right now, getting top 4 to competing for the title. I think his experience in all of these big games and experience in his career, some of these young defenders, I feel like they're a bit too fragile. Like they hear a bit of hate online, they start blocking their comments, and it gets to their head, innit? But I think with these experienced centre backs, they've been through all of this, innit? So it won't get to their heads, and they'll be able to deal with this stuff a lot better, which is definitely a problem at Chelsea because we know what our fans are like after a couple of games. As for the loan players, I'd give Gurhi, and I'll try to get him a Premier League loan for next season. Hopefully if Swansea come back, he can just go back there and play a season with them in the Prem. Ampadu, no. Sarr, no. He doesn't even get into the Porto squad like Matt said. So yeah, I'll definitely go for an experienced centre-back this summer. Upamecano, I wouldn't be upset with because he's a good defender, but I'm just talking preferably because I want us to go challenge for the league next season with all the money we've spent. But also Alaba would be a good move. That's obviously best for business because we could get him for free. It's just, I think his heart's set on Real Madrid or Barcelona, so I don't think he'll be coming to Chelsea regardless of the reports and what they're saying.
None of you don't want Boateng.
Sarr's not starting regularly for Porto.
He doesn't even get on the bench, bro. Lewis, you don't get on the
month here.
Last couple of months, he can't get on the bench, bro.
Okay, I'm going to have to keep that noted. That's mad.
Can I just say, yeah, if it was down to me, because also you got to take in consideration how realistic, like, obviously I hear the Marquinhos thing, and I think, yeah, if he was available, oh man, I would love Marquinhos because he can play centre-back, he can also play as a DM to a very high level as well. But I don't think he's even available to buy anywhere. And if we were to go in for him and try to buy him, they would take us to the cleaners, innit? So I don't really think Marquinhos is realistic. When you talk about Sula, I think Sula's done. There's a reason why Bayern Munich want to get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't even he barely even gets in that team. I think he's finished. The injuries haven't helped him because before the injuries, he was a brilliant centre-back, innit? But since he got, the massive injuries, he hasn't been the same. As for David Alaba, we have to ask ourselves, he is a great player. How will he translate in the Premier League as a centre-back? Doesn't look like he has that profile of a good centre-back in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, as a left-back, maybe, but we've already got a left-back. Not saying he's not better than the guy we have, but is it worth bringing him in? You got to consider that as well. Because if we bring him in, we might have to get another centre-back. So David Alaba, to me, is a no. As for the guys we got, I think Tomori might be gone already. That really hurts to say, but I do think he's gone. Mark Way, I agree with you guys. A lot of people are saying he's great. They're a bit overhyping him a little bit. We haven't seen him in the Premier League. People need to consider what you're seeing is in the Championship. Championship and the Premier League, two completely different leagues on different levels. So as great as he's been in the Championship, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be that way in the Premier League. I'm not saying he's not, though. I would say give him a Premier League loan next season. Obviously, we need to get rid of another centre back as well with the ones we got on the books. Whether it's most probably going to be Rudiger. I would get rid of him. Christensen maybe too. I know Lewis might not be feeling that one, but it is what it is.
You're lucky I can't remove you from this one, ain't my fucking
So the person I would go for is I would go for Upamecano. I think Chelsea are genuinely in for him, and they know they have a big chance of getting him. I know Bayern Munich are scared in a way. A lot of people just think it's a given that Bayern are going to get him. Bayern don't believe that. Otherwise, they won't be using the tactics they're using right now. And also, I think Chelsea, they probably are anyway, should monitor the Rafael Varane situation as well. If he doesn't sign a new contract, then get in there and go and get him. Simple as that. So those would be my two choices right there.
Who would you prefer, though, Varane or Upamecano?
If Varane's available, I would probably take him over Upamecano.
How old is Varane again? You lot?
At 27?
27.
Oh, yeah. So he's got decent amount of years for sure. Lewis, who do you want to see, bro? Boateng, you said, isn't it?
Boateng.
No, I'm joking.
Man. Mine was either or one of the RB Leipzig defenders because they got youth on them. I prefer Upamecano only because he's got less of the injury record. Konate's injuries are a bit of a question mark for me right now. But other than that, I feel like the rest of them, they're either not realistic enough or they just don't really make sense as transfers. Like Varane, I would like, regardless of what anyone is saying about whether he's dropped off in the last year and a half. I think he'd be a giant upgrade over most of the centre backs that we have right now anyway. But I just don't think it's that realistic. And if anything, it looks like he's more angling for a contract. Who else is there? Boateng just makes absolutely no sense, in my opinion. He's not over the hill or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense when we have Thiago Silva at the club because I'm thinking them two as a back two. If they're meant to be our two best centre-backs, nah, I wouldn't back that. It would be the slowest back two in the Premier League. Who's the other option? Sule as well. I'd be a bit too worried about his injury record because he's had 2 ACL injuries and he hasn't looked like the same player since. And was there any other defenders I've missed out? Because there's a few.
Varane. You say Varane?
Yeah, I said Varane.
Upamecano. You didn't say Upamecano.
Oh no, both the RB Leipzig defenders. I'd rather go for Upamecano over Konate, but that's only because he's got less of the injury record and he's more technical, which I don't mind. And all the other areas of his games that everyone's saying is too rash in. Yes, he's not the complete article right now, but he's still going to be better than a Zuma is right now or a Rudiger is right now. So I'd happily take him.
What about Ben White?
Oh,
Ben
Who?
White, shut up.
Yeah. Do you remember we linked
Always
to him?
come with these-
Bro.
you always-
You don't remember?
You sound
You
like
don't remember we
Lampard.
linked to him? You remember we linked to him?
No Lewis Dunks. Like, keep them man away from this team, man. Like, stop it. Like,
Bro.
average footballers, man.
Bro,
Bro,
Sadiq, you sound like Lampard, man.
bro, listen. Bear man was saying, yeah, Lewis Dunk, could have been a £50 million player, fam. You know what I mean?
Make everyone spam Sadiq out in the comments, please.
It's not me. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's what people were saying back when we were
Yeah,
linked to him,
yeah.
man. I
I
swear
think
you lot
it's
all
not-
wanted Lewis Dunk and Ben
No,
White.
I think
Nah,
it's an
we
insult.
questioned it, but that was it.
I think it's an insult that they even tried to charge us 50 mil for Lewis Dunk. Like, the man don't even get in the freaking England squad. Do you know what I mean? How and England's centre backs are shit. I can't even sit here and lie. All of them are shit. From Tyrone Mings to Harry Maguire. I think, yeah, John Stones is doing well, but he needs someone to hold his hand. But most of them are shit, and this guy can't even get in the team. And you wanna spend 50 mil on this guy? Come on, man! Like, leave it out.
Oh, those are the days, though, man. When we were lacking content back in them days, linked with some next players. I remember that.
30-minute Lewis Dunk conversation, only to hear that Brighton signed him on a 5-year deal in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that one. That one's crazy, man. So, but listen, very quickly, you lot. Doesn't this all depend whether we get Champions League or not, though? If we sign these defenders.
We will.
We should be making Champions League though.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah, when you look at the next fixtures, obviously we're probably going to win these games. But then we've got some difficult, fixtures towards the end of the season as well, man.
Yeah, but we
Things
have a
could
good
change.
manager now. That's the difference.
I think we'll get top 4. But the thing is though, players will sign whether you get top 4 or not. I think people overguess that if you don't get top 4, you're not going to sign these players. Like, bruv, Arsenal just took Thomas Partey off Atletico Madrid, and they're nowhere near the top 4. They will sign, man. It's all just gas. Do you know what I mean? If a player is going to sign, they're going to sign regardless. What the Premier League offers now is better than what you would get anywhere in the world at the moment, isn't it? The money in the Premier League is the best in the world. Do you get what I'm saying? So it doesn't. I don't think Champions League matters anymore.
Bro, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's the quality of player you'll get. So, say for example, if we do get like top 4, yeah, it will attract better players. So, say for example, right, yeah, if we didn't get top 4 and then we were linked with Calvert-Lewin and Haaland, right? If
Yeah.
we didn't get top 4, we'd probably get Calvert-Lewin. But then if we do get top 4, Haaland more likely come to us. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just the caliber of players. I get what you're saying, that players will come either way, but it's just the quality of players we will attract. You know what I'm saying? The ones that have the motivation to boost their career up.
But who's to say these players they don't they're not thinking of, okay, I've not got Champions League this season, but I will get Champions League the next season with this team. Like, pretty sure Thomas Partey would have thought that and going to Arsenal.
I was a bit
Yeah,
surprised with that move, though, man. Thomas Partey going to Arsenal it still doesn't make sense to me. Were
Well,
Chelsea
we can
really
be
that
in
interested in him? Were Chelsea really that interested in him?
I heard we were, but it was the case that he wasn't the perfect Lampard type of DM, so he still wanted to stick with Declan Rice.
But then
I
again-
agree with Monster though. I agree with Monster though about the whole thing. Like, it doesn't really matter if you get top 4. The players are still going to come because you got to take in the size of the club and what else we're offering. If we look at the squad that we have, look at the manager that we have. If the club can promise them that we're going to make it next year, we're going to be pushing for the title. I'm sure the players with a big contract, they're going to be attracted to the club anyway. So top 4 is not going to make that much of a difference for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly, we were talking about Partey didn't suit Lampard and all this stuff. We found out when he got sacked that only one signing was his, man. I thought Hakim Ziyech and all that was part of his as well. Like, none of them were. You know what I mean? I just feel like managers don't really have a say. I feel like the board just, see what they want to see and buy who they want to buy, basically.
But bro,
Yeah.
if you look at it from this angle, yeah, look at the borders we got in this transfer. We've got Havertz, Werner, all of these lot. If Lampard was in say, yeah, if he had say, we'd have Ben White, Gilmore would go out on loan, James Tarkowski, all of these meaty borders. You know what I'm saying? These tired borders, bro.
Yeah.
We would have been the next like Southampton, bro. I think
I
that's why the
agree.
board don't trust him.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is why you see all these managers like Mourinho is always having a problem with the board. When you sign on as a head coach, it really takes that license to sign players out of your hands, and it puts all of the power to the board's hands. Because when you sign as a head coach, that's not your role. It's just to coach the squad. But when you're the manager, that's when you have really a license to sign players, put forward to the board who you want. Say, God, let's go and get these players now. Yeah, but it's really in the board's side. Like, look what happened with Conte when he was head coach and he wanted to sign man like Bia Biani, Andy Carroll, Ashley Barnes. Come on,
I think
man.
he was mugging it, though. He was mugging it at that
No,
time.
but you know what? Yeah, the thing is, Mourinho said it perfectly. The Chelsea board will get you players good enough to win things. It's just down to you. That's why he was saying it's a bit easy for managers. It's easy for Tuchel and things like that, because the Chelsea board will always get you good quality players in it. Although there are times where they messed up a little with Conte's situation. He wanted Van Dijk and Alexandro and Alisson, and we kind of blocked
Lukaku.
those situations, innit? Lukaku as well, innit? But apart from that, we've generally got good players in. With Lampard, I feel like I can't lie. Lampard wanted some like mid to dead average
Yeah, I'm
players.
surprised at that. I'm
Like,
surprised at that.
Chelsea
I'm
did
full-
want Thomas Partey, but what was the situation? The situation was we couldn't get rid of, I think it was Jorginho at the time. So that's why Partey didn't come in. And I think that would have been a Chelsea sign now. If we're comparing Partey and Rice, bruv, there's no comparison. Partey is a much better footballer in every aspect of the game than Declan Rice is. And we've seen Partey perform constantly. I watched La Liga and I remember when Atletico would play Barcelona, they would stick Partey specifically on Messi and he would take him out of the game. And then you saw him against Liverpool as well last season in Champions League. Absolutely bossed Liverpool. Bossed them completely. I don't know why Simeone didn't play him after that in the Champions League and they ended up getting kicked out. But the man is an absolute baller, innit? And we've seen glimpses of what he can do at Arsenal, taking Pogba out the game in the first game as well. But yeah, Lampard didn't necessarily have the best choice in players like that he wanted to sign. I thought he was just going for rubbish players, man. I don't know what he was trying to do.
The thing is, though, when he was manager and when we had that unbeaten run and stuff, like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think the guy was going to be looking at these type of players. You know what I mean? When you hear the pulling power, this stuff that all Twitter users
PR.
were saying and stuff, we
PR,
didn't
man.
really, It didn't really make sense, man. I don't know how it all changes. Everything comes out as soon as you're sacked.
When the
It's
thing is, when
propaganda
people are
and
always
hard
saying,
stuff.
when people always saying, "Oh, Lampard's pulling power and blah blah," I never said anything about it. I've never even tweeted about anything about pulling power because it's nonsense. It's not Lampard's pulling power. It's Chelsea's pulling power. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea is a big name. Now everyone can see, even during the pandemic, Chelsea has money. Every player, Chelsea now are not going to struggle to get any players. If they want to get a player in, they're going to come in because they have a good coach. They've got good players, a good setup. You know, with all these talents, like people know Chelsea are going to go places in years to come. So of course they're going to come in. Do you know what I mean? It's not down to any manager or anything, is it? It's down to the setup they have at this point in time, innit? And it will attract players.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, Monster and Lewis, I don't want to keep you on too long because I know you got lectures and your streams and that. So,
Love, guys. Same
Guys,
for having me on anyway. You already know.
their channel all in the description. If you want to follow them, Lewis doing a stream very shortly as well, so you can go check it out as well. But Monster,
Guys, stick on
Lewis,
here till the end of the stream and then jump on with us.
yeah,
Big ups to everyone in here, man. Yeah, I do have to go into class. innit? Respect to Matt,
Love, guys.
Lewis, Ads, Kozilla. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, big ups to all you,
Yeah,
man.
big
man.
up
Make
all
sure
you,
you
man. You
smash
take
the like
care.
button, innit? Do you know what I mean? I'm
Love,
out,
man.
bro. Big
Love.
ups to you, Sadiq, as well.
Love.
take care, man. Matt, there's a couple things you wanted to tell us. A comparison between two players.
Yeah, so regarding yesterday's stream of we were talking about Upamecano and Konate, and everyone was going, "Oh, Konate's injury prone, Upamecano's so much better." Well, I was having a look because I saw some of the stats, and it was when you look at it at first, you think, "Yeah, Konate's got some big injuries," but it's actually quite different when you look at it in depth. So obviously, with me being an osteopath, I know like with a lot of sports injuries, treating people a lot. Obviously, go into stats and compare them, you've got Konate and Upamecano both had 8 injuries each with their career. In terms of the amount of games missed, Konate's missed 46 games compared to Upamecano's 32, which, yeah, Konate's missed more, but both missed a substantial amount of games.
It's a big difference, bro.
Yeah, it's a big difference, but I'll get to, when I get into the end of it, I'll see where this injury-prone idea gets in. Amount of days that have missed, Konate's missed 405 days, but to note, most of that is actually during pre-season rather than actual in-season games, whereas Upamecano's missed 232, which again, still is quite a lot. But now when you look into the type of injuries each player's had, when looking at Konate and seeing these 8 injuries, the 3 of the injuries was actually just the same injury, but for some reason they've been put a week apart. Oh, he's fit, and then he's gone back into it, which when doing a bit of digging into it, you remember when Pulisic had his hip injury?
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, a couple of weeks, he'll be back. And then it was again, another couple of weeks, another couple of weeks, and he was out for 6 months. Konate had the same hip injury, which for me, treating that, it takes absolutely ages to get a hip flexor back working properly, and it can take ages. But that, apart from that, he's had 1 twisted ankle, which he just went over and it happens, came with a tackle. And then apart from that, he's had a couple of knocks and that's it. But Upamecano, he's had 4 injuries of knee injuries, the same knee in the last 4 seasons, and has had 4 multiple different muscle problems. For me, I look at that and go, yes, Konate's had a big injury, which stipulates to the loads of games that he's missed, the loads of days that he's missed. But Upamecano has a lot of different injuries of different muscles. And this is when we look at players like Dembele, who always get different muscle injuries. Pulisic currently getting different muscle injuries. You've got to look, like, people have got to look at it. And actually, they're both just as injury prone as each other. And this is why, in my opinion, I want a Marquinhos, I want a Jimenez, because you see that both of them, Jimenez is a little bit, can get a few injuries, but they overcome them. They're experienced, they've seasoned, they'll be able to hopefully adapt to the Premier League and be fit. But both Konate and Upamecano, if they come in, I guarantee both of them will be in just as injury prone as each other. And all this idea of, oh, Konate is so much more injury prone than Upamecano, when you look at it, it's, if I'm honest, a bit nonsense. I think we've just got to keep an eye on that and look at it deeply, rather than just looking at, oh, Konate's had this many days out on compared to Upamecano. And I think that's why we've just got to look at these big players and think we need the experienced player. We don't need these young players, especially when we've got Gueye, Sarr, Tomori, and Padu on the side that can come in. I think we need to look at these experienced players, and this is what I've been trying to feed into everyone at the moment. If we need to spend 80 million on a Jimenez, I think that's probably centre back's probably our most priority position. I know people are talking about Haaland, but people know my feelings on Haaland. I don't want to touch a Raiola client, and that's why I wouldn't say anyone like Ragamanoli, because I think he's a good defender. He'd fit in, but he's a Raiola client. So for me, don't touch him. So I think centre-back and defensive midfielder are the positions we need to look at and spend the most focus and probably the most money on at the moment. So that was just my thoughts.
I mean, there's a very, very long explained comparison between two players that you want to avoid, basically. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on the injury and
I would say
someone with experience.
I would just say as well, if you're gonna if you want either Upamecano or Konate, don't look at the injuries and go, oh, well, Konate gets a lot more injured than Upamecano, because realistically, there's not much difference between the two. And if I'm going to look at ability and how they would fit into our defence, I think Konate would be the better person, personally.
Big shout to you, man. Big shouts. Ads, what do you make of all that, man? He's going in still.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, he's stayed out for longer than Upamecano has. And to me, the problem isn't really the injuries or whatnot. It's about who's a better player. And in my opinion, I think Upamecano is the better player, more promising player, the one with more potential. So if Chelsea don't want to go for one of the experienced centre backs, you know my thoughts on how I want us to go for one of the big names. But if we don't, I'm still cool with Upamecano, because I do think he's a very good centre back. He's big enough. He's strong enough. His height's a bit deceiving. You wouldn't think he's like 6'2", but he is. So for me, he's good. He's definitely good enough to play for us. It's just I would prefer us to go for a bigger name, because I think that can take us to real title challenges. But yeah, regardless, I don't want you guys to think that, oh, if we do end up getting Upamecano, oh, Ads was against him, Ads didn't want him or something, because I would take him. I would definitely take him. It's just...
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure.
I was making sure. Because on Snapchat you're telling me different things still. So I gotta make sure, man.
I would take him. 100% take him in it. It's just I would prefer the more experienced caliber player, but it is what it is, man. He's definitely good enough, man. I'll take him at the club. For
sure. Everyone that's tuned in, man, keep liking the video as it helps this channel, man. I haven't asked you guys, so if you guys can like the video, man, subscribe if you're new here, hit the notification. Kozilla, man, what do you make of that situation between two defenders? The gaffer will prove, man.
You know, it's obviously it was a great explanation about Matt. It was a good comparison. But yeah, in terms of Konate he's a really good centre back, but I think someone mentioned out yesterday, he's in the type of mode of centre back they already have in his club. Like, you already have Kazuma, who's already the same type of centre back. I don't know what you call it. I think it's a destroyer, something like that. But it's not really a ball-playing centre-back. But that's what we need. We're going to need a leader and a ball-playing centre-back, because we already have like players like Mark Gueye, Zuma and whatnot that just fill that type of mode. So Upamecano would be of that ball-playing mode, but obviously Matt highlighted his injury record. So I think if we don't go for Upamecano, then I don't think we should go for Konate. I think we should go for like someone more experienced. I'm not a big fan of Varane because of how do you say it? Like, I don't really have belief in him and trust in him to be a centre back leader. I don't think he's really that vocal. He'll still step into this Chelsea team as the best centre back, but he's not really a leader as per se. He always plays with another one and another leader next to him, whether it be Kimpembe on the national team or Sergio Ramos. So yeah, I think it'd either be, if we don't go for Upamecano, I'd happily like to see Marquinhos or someone of that mode who can play the ball and who is a leader in defence as well.
Yeah, I think Varane's dead food. I mean, he has to have Sergio Ramos holding his hand every game, and every time Sergio Ramos is injured, Madrid seem to flop in defence and wonder why. It's like with Kurt Zouma. You see Kurt Zouma with Thiago Silva already goes up a level, but then as soon as Thiago Silva's gone, then he just drops down into this rash defender, which if we're replacing Varane with Thiago Silva, there's no point of it because you're just going to have two players that do exactly the same thing. They won't build each other up. That's why I think someone like Jimenez, who is not being talked about enough at the moment, I think he's a good defender. He's going to be expensive, but we can get him out of Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have always had what you would say money problems, are always open to sell players. So if we can just match that price, which I think is possible, then we've got a good defender on our hands.
Yeah. Got an update on Upamecano right now. In fact, let me just pull it up. I just pull it up. Bear with me. I'm still getting used to this thing, bro. For so long. Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United have never been in advanced talks to sign Upamecano. Always been appreciated, but unlikely. He's the main target for Bayern Munich, prepared to pay the release clause. Chelsea and Liverpool are still in the race. Also, PSG interest now cooled down. So it looks like Marquinhos might be staying, fam. So it looks like ads for you, bro. You know, you can say goodbye to Marquinhos. It looks like he's staying, fam. They're not interested in signing Upamecano. And they got P's, fam. They do have P's as well. So what do you think, ads, man?
I guess it's just a race for whoever triggers that release clause first, man. I know the sporting director at Bayern Munich already came out and said that, we've had held talks with his agents, positive talks and whatever. So I think Bayern might just be slightly ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea in the race. But really, I'm just guessing it's whoever triggers that release clause, man. It could be us, it could be Bayern. But then again, it's what Upamecano wants. Does he just want to stay in Germany and dominate that league for however, God knows how long? Or does he want to come to the Premier League, test himself from young and develop as a player more? It's just on what he wants, really, man. But like I said, I'd be happy if he comes. I wouldn't mind too much if he doesn't come, especially if he doesn't come to the Prem, because it doesn't really affect us. So as long as if he doesn't come to us, just go and get one of the big names, and you have to, because if it's not Upamecano, I don't know who it would be as a young profile centre back.
You know, bro. This might be. I don't know how you say it, controversial or whatnot, but what's going on with Sergio Ramos? Because I'll happily take him at the bridge, man. I'm telling you, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
So would I, bro. I'll take him in a heartbeat as well, fam. I'd love it if we get Sergio. I just don't see it, fam, because my man spoke out before about, I want to finish my career here. I love Real Madrid so much. Even if I had to pay on a free contract, I would still want to finish my career here, whatnot. He's like, it's not about the money for me, it's about the club. So I just see all of this talk about Sergio Ramos leaving. I don't believe it, fam. I don't buy it at all, fam. I think he's going to stay there. I think he'll stay there 100%.
But then again, we probably heard that with Ronaldo as well, man. And then obviously look how they done him dirty, fam.
Yeah, true, but I never really heard Ronaldo speaking about how he wants to finish his career at Real Madrid. I think it's kind of different, man. No, Sergio Ramos is the captain, and that I reckon he's gonna stay, man. And regardless, I don't even know if we'd get him, bro, because Thiago Silva and Ramos, that's two aging centre backs. I'm not sure if the club would be on that. Obviously, it'd still be a good move in my opinion because he's for free, so I would take it, but I'm not sure if the club would.
Just quickly, Dani Alves, who did he play for before Barca? Seville.
Don't actually know.
I think so. I think it's Sevilla still.
Because he was close to joining Chelsea, I swear, before Barca.
Yeah, he was linked to us.
Was it Seville?
Yeah, it was Sevilla.
I remember we was always linked with someone from Seville, and we're like, we'll look at it next season, and it didn't happen. I'm sure it was Dani Alves. Maybe I'm wrong.
That would have been bad if we got him.
I know.
Crazy. I know. Ashley Cole and then Dani Alves, bro.
That means no Reece James, you lot.
No, Reece James will be there.
Reece James will be finished, you lot.
No way, bro.
No,
he's on the come up.
Yo, what did you guys make of Monster's comment about Reece James about not going as forward and not picking that pass out? Because I agree with it.
I don't know. When you compare him to Hudson-Odoi, then I would agree with him because obviously Hudson-Odoi picks up the ball and he moves with it a lot quicker. But I wouldn't say he slows down the play as much.
He's too casual, G.
Okay, bro. If he's casual, then Chilwell's a pedestrian, bro. Because every time
Chilwell
gets the ball,
I agree, bro. I agree. Chilwell's not my guy, G. Chilwell's not my guy, bro.
Nah, but for me, bro,
these men are fullbacks, man. These men are fullbacks. They're not wingers, bro. Of course, you can't compare him to how quick he's moving the ball as to Hudson-Odoi, bro. Of course, there's going to be levels in that, man. But Yeah, it's not the type of player he is. He's not that type of player to be explosive, driving the ball. He's the type to make overlaps and get on the edge of the box and put crosses in. And that's what he does a lot, man. He's always getting in good positions to get the ball in the box, man. And that's what
Bro, I think we should just persist that Reece James at right wing back, man. Fam, against Tottenham, he didn't look that bad. He was just whipping in the crosses for me, man. But against Sheffield, obviously, he had a bad game. But man, you gotta persist with these talents, man. You know what I'm saying? Reece James can go straight to the top, man. He's England's national. For me, bro, you know what I'm saying? Trent can't hold Reece James's boot, man. For me, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we should persist with this right wing back thing, man.
I just think it's one of the things he's going to improve on that. You think under Lampard, everyone was slow under Lampard, and as a young player, he's one of them players that as a young player, you look at the manager and go, how do you want me to play? Because you've not experienced it. As he learns with Tuchel, he'll probably get faster with his play, be more confident. I feel like what I've seen recently with Reece James, he doesn't feel as confident to go and try and take his man on and do the audacious cross that he was doing before. I think he's calmed down, which has been good in some ways because he's not losing the ball as much. But at the same time, he's now being a bit slower than what you'd want. So I think it will just take time. But I see the potential in him, and I think he can grow. We just got to give him a little bit more time. I mean, he's only still young.
How much time do you think he deserves, bro?
I mean, if you're looking at other youth players, I'd argue he deserves much more time. I think he's the one with, if you look at potential, he's got quite a high ceiling, and he will still grow.
My expectation for Reece is high because I look at the likes of Mason Mount, who I felt wasn't that good, if you know what I mean, the way people were rating him. And I'm seeing improvements from the player. Like, I'm seeing him take it to the next level. I feel like he's going to get even better on this manager. And I feel like Reece James now, the way everyone's going best right back in the league and stuff, I need to see why, bro, because... cool, he's better than Trent right now. You lot can say that's fine. But when you're talking about best right back in the league, I don't really see where that's coming from. Like,
Bro,
obviously...
So, you know, it's a DK. I agree with you, Mason Mount, because I've never been too high on Mason Mount, and he's only starting to prove me wrong now. But we can see that he's under Lampard. He played 53 games last season, and that just helped his development. You know what I'm saying? So if you're playing week in week out for the same club in the same position, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to develop. So we're just seeing the fruits of that now. So with Reece James, I think we need to persist with him and keep on playing these type of youth until we can see them actually take that next step. I was seeing on Mason Mount right now. That's my opinion, man.
Then you might as well pick Tammy over Giroud.
I don't get what this is about Reece James, though. I think he's been one of our best players this season, fam. I don't get, like...
Really?
Yeah, bro, genuinely. I think he's been one of our best
I think
players.
you just love youth, bro. I think you love Tammy. I think you love Reece. I love... Well,
No, man. I think the only one that's been maybe better than him this season is Cancelo. But other than that, I think he's been the best right back in the league other than Cancelo this season, man. I think he's been very good for us, very consistent.
Yeah, for me, he's always been the third best right back in the league after Pereira and Cancelo.
Yeah, I think you just got to look at certain situations. I think with young players, they're always going to have periods of inconsistency. Mount's had periods of that last season under Lampard. Reece James is kind of having that now. And I think you've just got to go with the inconsistency because that's what you expect from players at this young age and players developing. I think Reece James is going to come out of this little period of what you'd call inconsistency, which for me, it's not been as bad as other players' inconsistencies. You've seen like Tammy Abraham, 1 minute he's fantastic and then he drops completely. And I think again, with Tammy, it's the same thing. You've got to roll with these periods of inconsistency. If you believe in the player, which I think the club and the managers do, then you've got to just go with it. And I think with Reece James, the problem is, and this is the problem we have with these inconsistent periods, you get all these fans that hype young players far too high, call them the best right back in Europe, yes, best right back in the league, calling callum hudson-odoi star boy, etc. The problem is when they get to this inconsistent stage, that causes other fans to attack that player because they're being inconsistent or poor, which both sets of fans are just as bad as each other. You just need to keep a little bit, people just need to keep a little bit grounded and just admit that these players are going to have good spells, they're going to have bad spells, but that's the whole point of it. And we need experienced players around them to coach them through it, which I think Chelsea need to probably invest in the summer a little bit.
No, for real. Obviously, still long seasons to go. He can... Reece James, for example, can do really, really well. I'm not saying anything bad about him for sure. I just feel like this is a time where I need these players to step up for the gaffer, Kazilla. You know what I mean? Like, we're on the form now, bro. Like, we should be getting that top 2 spot. That's what I just feel like seeing these players. I've seen hudson-odoi step up. I've seen Mason Mount step up. I feel Tammy needs to step up. I feel Reece James needs to step up. Those are 2 players I feel like need to step up for sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Who said we'll come second? Did anyone here say we'll come second, or it might have been someone else?
Not me.
I think I said we can nick it if United do what they do all season and just tank off during the season. We can nick it, man.
I'm still not commenting on top 4 too.
I still don't think we'll finish above Liverpool though, man.
You sure?
Yeah, man. Come on, Liverpool have still got the quality, man. They're gonna bring it back.
You're bugging up, man. That's
Bro,
Liverpool.
let's get past Newcastle and Southampton first, man. Then let's see, bro. Because then after that, we're Man United, Atletico Madrid, and that. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, let's just get through these big games first.
And then when we get past the next 2 games and wins, what are you gonna tell me? Oh, you was right, fam.
Nah, last 4 games of the season are a bit longer as well, fam. So we'll see.
Bro, this is Chelsea Football Club, bro. We've got Thomas Tuchel, funky Chelsea. We're back. I mean, like, you know,
It's our last 4 games of the season, though.
who are they again? Liverpool's there.
Man City away, Arsenal at home, Leicester, and Villa away.
Minor. The last 3 are minor.
Nah.
Arsenal, Leicester, and Villa away. That's not minor, bro.
Arsenal's minor because I'm sure we'll fix up by then to try and get revenge. And who else? Leicester.
Leicester and Villa away.
Home away.
Leicester at home.
See, I told you, it's calm, man.
I do think Villa and possibly Leicester may just drip away by that point. But
Yeah, I
I
agree,
think
man.
Arsenal City though are going to be. I mean, City you might as well just count that as a loss. Well, actually, it depends. They might have won the league by then.
Nah, I don't think they'll win it 4 games.
It'll be-
early.
You know, I will say about City, it'll be a very good tactical battle between Tuchel and Guardiola. I'm excited to see just
definitely.
versus Liverpool as well. Tuchel versus Klopp. I want to see what they do against each other. It's
I'm
box
so-
office stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we dodge City in the next round of the FA Cup, man. I want to see Bournemouth or Sheffield or something, man.
Why? Let's beat the best, man.
Nah, man,
I don't want to face Man City at the moment.
But when
Yeah,
it's
they
not
do
a
that
final, the pressure isn't as high as you think it is, man. That's
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we
but-
deliver, bro.
That's what we had to do last season, though. We beat Leicester, Liverpool, and United all in the run to the final, innit? And then we lost, bro. I just want to
Yeah,
see.
bro, in the ideal world, I would like to get I would like to get United in the semis, then City in the final, or you City in the semis and then United in the final, just because of Twitter, man. I can't lie.
I'd like City in semis because they're going to be at that point. They're going to be so focused on the Champions League if they're still in it at that point. Because you know what that's Pep's only trophy he wants now is the Champions League. They're going to be so focused on it, they may even just flop. I could see Pop just flop in the FA Cup if it means he can get to a Champions League final.
Yeah.
Big shouts from you, man. Big shouts from you, man. I mean, look, Barnsley is the first game that we need to look at tomorrow. You lot are proper confident. I feel like it's going to be a dodgy performance. I feel like no one's going to be... Obviously, we're expecting rotation, you know what I mean? I don't feel like this team's going to deliver the way you man are expecting them to deliver because it's Barnsley. I just feel we have to be a bit careful. Obviously, we'll win 100%, but I don't think it's as simple as you lot are saying, and that's what I'm saying. And we've got Newcastle on Monday, and then we have, I think, Southampton, right?
Yep.
What is it with all these fucking dodgy kickoff times? Like Monday Night Football, we had the Sunday 7:15, at Thursday 8 o'clock. It's just mental with us at the moment.
Nah, I'm
Kills
loving
my
it, man.
stream times, man.
Bro,
Kills
I'm
my
loving
stream.
it, man.
Hate
Why?
Monday night football, man.
Monday night for bro, I'm not working at the Nets, I'm saying so. Because I really can't catch the weekend games in. I can only catch the highlights in that. So
Long.
Fair enough. Are we expecting all wins in the next 3, guys?
Inshallah.
yeah,
Hopefully,
bro.
I mean, let's see.
As tell me the truth, man. What are you expecting the next 3 games? Be honest.
Bro, I'm expecting 3 wins, innit? We should be winning all 3.
You expect 3 wins, yeah?
Yeah, I'm expecting 3 wins.
No draws on all that.
Nah, 3 wins. 3 wins.
Sure.
I think we'll drop points in Newcastle, but there you go.
Oh, we better not, bro. Not Newcastle.
It's typical what happens. Is it at home or is it at St James's
It's at the
Park?
bridge. It's at the bridge.
It's all right.
Okay, it's not so bad then. If it was at St James's Park, definite draw.
We've already
But-
beaten them 2-0. We'll deal with them. Yeah.
We'll see.
You beat them
I
away.
think we'll get one draw.
Beat them 2-0 away.
See, man, my memory isn't that good, man. I can't remember these games, man. But it's crazy.
I'm more scared for the Southampton game. If anything, Southampton away will probably be more of a challenge.
Why?
Southampton are decent, bro.
They got slapped 9-0, G.
Yeah, but when you get slapped 9-0, you're then on a mad one to get back.
Yeah,
on
when it
that.
happens once, you bounce back, bro. It's happened twice now.
Yeah, but they'll be hungry for a win.
That's too
Oh,
funny.
you're just being negative, man. You're just negative, bro.
Newcastle, bro, gonna steamroll them, man, bro. They're tired, fam. I can't lie. Man said
They're
Steve
gonna come
Bruce at the
part of
wall.
us, man. You know what they're gonna do, man. They're gonna come and put 11 players behind the ball, man.
They're gonna try and stink out the bridge, but I'm telling you, I think Werner will bang against one of these teams, man. If he's not injured, like he's gonna be a lot more
I said
confident.
Werner, fam.
Yeah, man. You see him against Sheffield, man. He was coming like an energizer bunny, bro. He was running everywhere, fam.
Bro, it's all about Giroud, Tammy. These man got tech, fam. They're gonna be doing bits. They need to start scoring some goals, fam.
Giroud stank up the place against Sheffield, man. I'm not trying to see him for
and
the time
against
being.
Wolves, and against Wolves, fam.
Yeah, man.
Bro, look, this guy is on his case. He's doing full Tammy
Nah,
love.
I remember Mandem were writing in the comments. I saw like 100 ads out messages when I was saying Tammy's better than Shrew, but Mandem didn't want to listen, fam. It's kind. We're gonna see now.
Well, to be fair, every striker's stinking out the place apart from Werner at the moment, and Werner's not even doing fantastic.
Tammy hasn't even been given a chance, man. On the two.
What was the game? Was it Burnley? That you
Yeah, he only got
took
45.
on half the- Yeah, but he was invisible in that game.
Yeah, but that's not fair, man. Come on, you can't give a striker 45 minutes, man. That's not fair.
Bro, I
Have to
want to see Kai play up top, man. I want to see how. Bro, I just want to see Kai play in general, man. He looks so good against Wolves, and then
I can't wait for Kai to play false nine. I think that's going to be his best
He's not
position.
even playing tomorrow, bro. So dead, man.
he's not playing tomorrow.
Nah, apparently he's still out. It's not
That's what's
confirmed.
annoying me.
Yeah, it's annoying, man.
Guys, man, I'm gonna probably end it here. I got bare work in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Obviously, look, just in case you lot think I'm gassed and that, my laptop's right here. We're gonna do this work. So, want to thank you lot for coming on. Kazilla, Matt, ads. I'll probably see you tomorrow straight after the game. Obviously, if you lot are free. But thank you for coming on, man. Guys, everyone that's tuned in, keep liking the video, keep subscribing, keep hitting the notification, and we see you guys soon, man. Take care. All.